to actually record.
We're just busy
Breakdown
people.
of communication.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a breakdown. You know, the fans have missed us, I think.
Yeah. Well,
fans?
We'll hope. Fans. We've lost all 12 regular viewers, which is such a shame, isn't it? Such a shame. I haven't had any messages about the pod. No? Weirdly, I thought, oh, they'll start knocking the door soon. They'll start, pitchforks out. They'll have you, without their weekly pod.
You realise we're not like commentary like on a football match right now as you hold your mic to your mouth.
So as Joe alluded to before the call, which our viewers won't be privy to, but I'm a bit of a minimalist. So anything in my room I don't use for like a week is out of the room. Right, it's out. Don't like looking at it.
It's been a month, so
too distracting. So I lost my desk. What did I call it? Desk hand hinge thing. So the thing that goes onto your desk
is where you've got that.
Yeah,
it's the only way we can describe that.
It's out of the room. So
it does remind me. I don't know why, but this is reminded me of. There's such a great clip of Jason Cundy doing the commentary from the Liverpool game, where he's also doing the thing that Rab's doing, but he like lobs it up when we score, and then the rest of it is the other guy commentating while he's like scrabbling around trying to find it, and then you just hear like after 2 minutes him going, "It's broken." I've broken it.
I did see the start of that.
It's so funny.
I did see the start of that clip.
So good.
It's just a shame he does my head in, Jason Cundy.
Oh yeah, me too. And I'm he's a Chelsea fan, and he's ridiculous. He's a child.
I think you telling me you don't like listening to Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara together.
Oh,
I don't mind Jamie's all right.
You don't mind Jamie O'Hara, but you don't like Jamie.
I feel like
one and the
Cundy is intentionally being an idiot, whereas
he's
O'Hara is
a grief.
actually just an idiot.
He's a grief. My tipping point was when we lost to Kairat Almaty, and he did the "Has anybody seen?" and I was just like, just turn this off.
Yeah,
just turn this off now. Yeah, that was the tipping point.
When you think of Jamie O'Hara now, I just keep thinking back to that clip of him on this US dating show saying he's the like. Have you ever seen the clip?
This is real.
No.
He was on a show and he's like revealing to his partner because he had to like go undercover that he's not a famous person, and he's like, I currently host one of the most popular like radio shows in the world or something like that.
That is brilliant.
And I'm a former professional football player, and he's like, 4 times the size he was.
Atrocious.
She's like, you what? You lying? And
that was
bizarre.
That was like the time.
I was trying to remember who else was on it. Like I think Ryan Babel was on it.
Ryan Babel.
Look at the name.
I've seen him flogging his shirts online somewhere. I keep getting that advertised. He's flogging all of his like shirts he got off of the players in his own. Don't know why, but must be in trouble.
I'd much prefer other players than his, to be fair.
He did have some crackers on there, mind. Weirdly, all of the Babel shirts were going for like £100, and all of the others were going for like a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Babel. He is great. It reminded me of that Jason Cundy story about the time I went to the Lorcana Birmingham, and I had to. Because I didn't take ID with me, I had to Google myself.
You didn't have to. You chose to do this.
Yeah, you decided.
There were many better ways.
Do you not know who I am?
I had to Google myself.
The Pokémon tweet.
God.
I've forgotten who was there at the time, but I think it must have been you, Dave, because you weren't there, Joe. You were there.
We were both there.
I was there.
Yeah, we were all there. Yeah. Because I think I had to turn around and then go back to you guys who were in the queue and just say, I had to Google myself. And you were like, that's just not acceptable.
No.
Worked though, got in. Did terrible, but it's good. Good fun.
Actually, embarrassing. Right.
Yeah, it is.
Thank God digital ID wasn't a thing then.
Do you want a bit of digital ID? Yeah, we'll kick off, I guess, with some of the catch-ups from our happenings, I suppose, in the past couple of months. So, do you want to start with fantasy football? Because I see myself fifth in the league, well
fifth,
above.
Is it?
Where are you guys again?
I mean,
a bit further down.
Eighth and ninth. That is bad, isn't it?
How
I'll
many
put it
points
up
are we
just
behind
for
you? That's the most important.
Loads. There it is for everyone. Read it and weep.
There it is for
Weep.
everyone. Effectively.
Weep then. Weep.
You're 17 points above me and
20
above
points.
Alex.
That'll last for about a week because I know you're doing wild card. So
And you've used your triple captain.
I've used my triple captain and a wild card.
Oh, Joe,
but I haven't used my bench boost. So
I've bench boosted and wildcarding this week.
Yeah. Any plans for you, Day?
The initial plan was the wild card, but my team without wildcarding, I'm generally okay with. I just need to make like 1 or 2 tweaks.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the thing. So I have 1 free transfer, but like I was staring at like Bruno, who really annoyed me because I got his missed pen as soon as I got him in. I had like Chris Wood, who's been just atrocious as soon as Thingy left.
And came in.
And yeah, I was just like, there's like 3 or 4 things where I can get big gains, so I've just made changes.
See, that's the thing.
Were you both on Watkins for a long time? I know Joe
was completely useless.
I still have him because I was like, he scored last week. He's playing bloody Burnley. But I was one of the few, unlike you two, I had a Salah and Haaland team to begin with, so I've just been kind of
that's right. I suppose.
And then I got Semenyo in when I could.
Yeah,
and then I was like, this last week, I had a great week with my triple captain with Haaland. I shot up the ranks in multiple leagues. And I was like, I need another differential. And I was like, I know Arsenal are gonna get a clean sheet, but I just don't want to bring in Raya or someone like that. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Gyökeres, see if he can try and do anything. Brought in Darlow just to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
So you only have yourself to blame, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is all your fault.
It's quite sad, really.
I really like Calvert-Lewin as a differential. I think he's great.
They have fixtures, but I've seen him not score for a whole year, so I'm not going to go.
Three 90 minutes in a row.
So he's fit, which is a great thing. 1 goal, but that's fine.
He does play for Leeds.
Sunderland next, isn't it, or something like that? Burnley.
But that's the thing. He's gonna trick you because he's gone for entire years of football without scoring.
Yeah.
He showed this past weekend that he unfortunately doesn't know how to finish a football into the back of the net.
Finish a football, please.
I put in Foden for Man City's great run of fixtures, but it hasn't come up trumps yet. He's not done much.
I feel like Haaland and Reijers just have to be the right choices for.
I just wanted a third, and I didn't know. I wasn't going to put in a defender because they are just so leaky at the moment. But
for me, it was always. I
just didn't know who else.
Third pick right now.
Doku. It was out of Doku and Foden. Definitely.
I think the grief that's lost me about 30 points. Honestly 30 points is that in week 3 I went Johnson over Kudus. Because Johnson in his first 2 weeks was playing 90 minutes and got 2 goals. Kudus was like getting assists, but wasn't that great. And then he's just like completely banged every week, where Johnson is getting like 2 minutes a game now.
His stats are so good as well. He's got something like the 3rd biggest goal involvement, most goal involvements in the league at the moment.
He's been the main man. He has to be. So it's just like it's so depressing that he's got those points.
Yeah.
I wildcarded my dad's team last week and I put Caicedo in for his lovely little goal against Liverpool, which is brilliant. So he was loving that.
Yeah.
Has he ever made a decision in his fantasy team, Joe?
Loads. When it's a wild card, you have to let me do the 98% and then give him a 50-50 at the end. The reason why we got to this wild card is that he made a decision, and the decision was so when Palmer got injured, he went to Esteval.
Yes.
And then I was like, that's a bad decision, but fine, whatever. Then as soon as Palmer was fit again, he got him back in, so did the swap back.
Right.
And then Palmer got injured 20 minutes into that game.
Yeah.
And I told him not to swap Palmer back in because he could still be injured, don't even know if he's starting, and you'll need Haaland in a week. But he did the swap anyway, then Palmer instantly injured, and then he didn't have the way to get to Haaland without wildcard.
Yeah,
so he was forced into a wildcard.
Yeah.
So he does make his own decisions, and then I've had to wildcard to fix his
You just love Cole Palmer.
What's happened.
Yeah.
Just loves Cole
There you
Palmer.
go.
Because I know you actually went to the football and you took Emily, right? First Chelsea game.
So this weekend, Chelsea-Liverpool was possibly one of the best games in years at Stamford Bridge. Me and Emily weren't at that one. We actually went to the 3-1 loss the week before at home to Brighton. So that's lovely.
Yeah.
And we both got ill off of that, and we're both still unwell after that as well.
Just a bit of a cold, is it?
Yeah,
Overworked.
we're both
I'm
sniffly
pretty
and
sure
horrible.
Emily had the tweet of 3 stages of grief for Joe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
pictures
Chelsea
were
game.
the pictures
My
were
God.
funny. The pictures were funny. I thought you'd come out of that saying, "Rab, I'm never going to take it to a game again." It's like a
Oh,
bad
no.
luck.
Like, everything around the game was good, and about 50 minutes of that game was fun. And then as soon as, like, we go a man down, and then I'm there, even before we start losing, I'm like, we're going to lose this game, and it's going to be an awful second half to watch. I can only apologise for this. And
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
very good, very good. Let's kick on to the stuff that, well, what else has been going on? Have we gone to any Pokemon
Is it a bit more
tournaments
Pokemon
recently?
related, you mean?
Yeah, a bit more Pokemon related.
Well, I mean, we have had our first regional of the season in Europe.
We have, yeah.
Frankfurt, that I was working, so got to see some highlights there. Some big names in our top cuts. Seeing Tord straight away with the second place to begin his 2026 season is pretty cool. Rune Hermann's getting a win, getting that auto invite, and has been playing Gardevoir before. I think one of the first times I ever watched Rune actually was watching them as a senior win with Mewtwo v Union with Gardevoir, which is pretty crazy. So cool to see the sticking with Guardian getting another big win. So yeah, and some other like big names, Fabian in there, Kato getting a top 4, like May's coming back, obviously close to all of us. Like some really cool names in that top cut. I feel like for the headlines, like Conkeldurr had a bit of a random showing for a few players, and Terrabox was like the more realistic, this could win the tournament pick. Mostly just seeing that at Worlds there was no Shaman, so let's just Wellspring and win.
See what happens,
But it was still, in the end, Guardy versus Dragger, and I feel like that's still going to be the story going into the rest of the year.
Yeah, it was a good tournament to watch. I think the highlight for me was the picture Maze had with Tord. I think it must have been on top table or thereabouts, which was cool to see.
Oh yeah,
which was cool to see. And our good friend Mike Addis making 12th place as well.
Of course.
Yeah,
his first
great showing
regional.
from Mike.
He's played in ICs before, but that's his first regional he played in and got top 16. So that's pretty awesome. I know.
I don't know if
he's been Grim for a few months, so he's put the time in.
I don't know if one of you said about the amount of dedication he does put into the game. If any of you spoke to him at regionals or any sort of local tournaments, he just does not stop talking about the game and different plays and different matchups, etc. So like you said, he definitely puts the time in, which is good to see. He's
also a.
Go on.
I was just going to say, he's quite a selfless caster in that he's happy to dumb himself down and play the fool for the audience's sake, if that makes sense. Like, he's happy to ask questions he knows the answer to in casting, but he's obviously very clued up and is very good with Grim.
Yeah, for anybody that knows him, it's very satisfying to see. He's made such a good achievement there with 12th place.
He did lose to a Conkeldurr, though, which I don't think he should do. But apart from that, brilliant.
I mean, I didn't mention that, Mike, so if you are watching. But, what about you then, Alex? What about your thoughts on Frankfurt and all the happenings?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of it's again, very quickly, just because it's obviously been some time now, but first tournament post-Worlds, and it's kind of the fallout of everyone's preparation of what Worlds was, right? You take it with, I wouldn't say a pinch of salt, but there's everyone's spending so much time preparing for the World Championships, and then it's just like, and then it's actually another tournament in the same format. So more of the same. There was obviously a lot of murmurs around decks like Terrabox and whether it can handle the kind of format that it's in, especially when you're hitting all these like little Pokemon, and as Joe's mentioned, no Shaman and generally in format, and then there's always things like things like Dengo kind of popping up, or has been, and that was kind of the massive thing going into like Worlds as well. And I don't think it had a great finish. I say not a great finish, but there weren't many in the top tables, were there? I'm just kind of
at Worlds
through.
Or in Frank?
No, at Frankfurt, yeah.
Yeah, I think it had it wasn't actually that represented either. Like compared
Drew
to Worlds,
Stevenson,
the representation was and Drew played the Secret Box build that I know was played by some of the Europeans at Worlds as well.
Yeah, he played the Miloslav, not Miloslav.
It was Milo and Magda.
Did Milo play? Yeah, because I was remembering I was talking to him before Worlds as well. It's just a bit of the same old story. As Joe mentioned, it's Gardevoir versus Dragapult. And again, two very fantastic players. Then the top four was also rounded off by Kato as well, and Fabien Pur, who played his Draga Chickens list that he played at Worlds. Yeah, the Blaziken.
Is that what it's called, or is that what you've called it?
I think someone's called it chicken. Well, I mean, everyone calls it a chicken, but it's just how it is.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's
fair.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I was at the tournament. I played as well. I didn't do as well as I would have liked, or as I thought I probably could have with Charizard. It's a bit of a shame, but yeah, it's just sometimes how the dice is rolled. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're still talking about Frankfurt. Obviously, there was also, I think it was Monterey in the same weekend. And then subsequently we had another tournament in the US as well.
Pitts.
Was it? Yeah, there you go. Pittsburgh. And yeah, I mean, just to take away from very quickly, I don't know if we're showing that at all, but it's really cool to see, again, a level of consistency of a lot of players, especially from the US contingent, because it is that group that we all have spoken about over the many months already. The Henry Chow, Aban obviously is the person who benefited from this. And I think Rune actually played a list that was part of that group as well to have won
same 60.
Yeah. So it's like, it just goes to show that level of consistency between a lot of those top players. And then Aban came so close to having a bit of a back-to-back in the first two events.
Back-to-back regionals.
Across the pond.
The first two events.
Yeah. Could have stolen away one invite already. But I mean, it was a very, very unique situation to have found himself in, and obviously the scenario which people have already discussed, and it's already been popularized over the Twitterverse and Xverse and stuff. But really cool.
I think it's 100%. I think it's well documented, the happenings at Pittsburgh, wasn't it? In the end, but yeah, Aban. I mean, going from first to second, even being that it's the first regional, has set himself up for such a strong season going forward, and you're expecting him to be on the top tables pretty much all season now.
How many regionals do we think that group could potentially take down? I mean, Henry by himself was it?
Well, I mean, Henry last season did so well last year. So I mean, it's not just the players either. It's the decks that they're playing. I mean, Gardevoir's just it's still going to be strong next year. It's still going to be strong this year. Sorry.
Only a few more bumps. Rotation will end it.
Rotation will end it. That's right.
Or will it?
Or will it? Exactly. Good point.
Just Mega Guardi. Let's go.
Just Mega. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to this format, though. We've also had a tournament over in Japan in Yokohama, which has given us a little bit of a sneak peek on the format moving forward. Of course, they did have one extra set compared to us, so they do have cards like Mega Diancie that goes into Gardevoir, etc.
It's not actually a set. It's just their decks, their little.
The starter decks, right?
Decks. It's not Phantasmal Flame stuff. It's just their little starter decks. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Mega Diancie. What was the other one? There was two, wasn't there? Gengar. Yeah, but I didn't think they made such a good showing. But the Mega Diancie is showing to be quite a contention in the Gardevoir lists moving forward. Especially some of the lists from Japan.
I don't really get it. I didn't think Diancie was that good when I first read it, and people are cutting Clefairy. Feels a bit weird to me.
If you go on to say if you go onto Pokega book, and you have a look at the top list coming out of Japan under Gardevoir, they are all so different. There just doesn't seem to be any sort of consensus as to some of those little choices, especially around the Clefairies, the Deances, the Mega Guardies, those kind of one-of attackers. I know we've kind of had that similar pattern before with cards like, say, Fluttermane or Drifloon or whatever. But now, as we see, just like any other deck that with Gardevoir's ability, where you can, it has that inherent power-up style ability with energy acceleration, you'll always just have these little add-ons as the sets come out, and as it evolves and becomes more mature in terms of its choices and how many different styles of play you can have. So I think it's not surprising that there's no consensus between the lists either at this point. And I think it'll be less of a... I don't know whether it's going to be more of a personal choice as much as it is a meta choice. This is good at the moment, so I'm going to pick this, or whatever it is. I'm keen to hear both of your thoughts on Gardevoir, though, because it is showing in my eyes to be the best deck moving forward still.
Well, are we looking at the Champions League current?
I'm looking at the Champions League now. I'm not looking at the list, but I'm looking at the standings.
The standings. So Joe probably can talk to this a little bit more than I can, but Gardevoir did finish second, right? You already mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
It's already proven in the format we've seen and the multiple iterations of different formats we've seen so far since it's been in play, just how incredible it is, right? Just from this kind of tournament and what we're starting to see online, which we'll touch on to in a moment, it doesn't lose anything, and it doesn't really, and it gains. There's because of a particular card that we'll cover it in a little bit as well. That just gives it an extra little boost. It gives that card, Lillie's Determination, also gives boost to other decks, but at the same time, giving arguably the best deck in format right now, or one of the best decks in format right now, another piece to try and get to the right combos that you need to, the right cards in the hand, and then discard into the discard pile to get those psychic energies going and flowing all over the place. Yeah, it's really hard to see past that as well. And then we're also thinking about the other quote-unquote technologies or techs that people are trying to play or utilize, the Jellicents, which is what we saw in more recent tournaments as well. And again, people are still thinking that Jellicent is still kind of a bit of a way forward. I think I've seen a couple of things online where people are still championing that version over a bit more of a straight build. So that there's, as you kind of mentioned, there's so many small nuances that you can take with the deck as well. Just based on how people sort of maybe perceive the meta to be. They might chuck in Klefki back in, which is what we see in the Japanese list. Fluttermane's come in and out before. But Klefki's a really cool inclusion right now. And again, because we're going to be talking about some of the other decks that we'll see in that list, like the Solrock, Lunatone type engines that we're starting to see a bit more of now as well, that people are just kind of jamming into different decks and different archetypes, as it were. So yeah, it's got so many tools at its disposal. It's going to be one of those things that you still have to test everything that you're trying into first, pretty much, before you're comfortable maybe even going to another big tournament or even a local tournament that you want to take a deck for. So yeah, still a deck to beat. Massive.
That's a good point. I want to say, before I throw it over to you, Joe, about this as well, about Gardevoir as well, is that it's not just the attackers that are changing with these new lists coming out. It's also the structure in terms of its playable, so in terms of its trainers and some of the Pokemon that are included in the bulk of the Gardevoir line. So the Lillie's Determination, massive card for Gardevoir. It's an instant 4-of, I would say, in almost every list. And then of course the Ralts, not so much of an impact, but the Courier certainly is. I think lists are turning away now from technical machine evolution, going for and I'll just remind myself, the call sign attack. So putting up to 3 Pokemon in your hand and then shuffling your deck, or having the option for Klefki to move to kind of delay your turns moving forward. But that call sign is a massive option for these lists. 3 Pokemon in hand is massive for this sort of deck where you have so many running pieces and so many Pokemon that you depend on to get up and running. I think Gardevoir in the majority, you often see it go down 1 or 2 prizes, maybe even 3 before it gets up and running. I think if you can call sign early enough and are fortunate enough to have a strong board as soon as you get that turn with those 3 Pokemon in hand, it's looking pretty good for Gardevoir, right?
Yeah, and I mean Garden's huge as well, right?
And Mystery Garden. Yeah, sorry.
That's almost a supporter in a stadium card, and it's exactly what Gardevoir wants. It's more discard synergy. It's more draw. That stadium's crazy. I think finding the right blend of that stadium and artisan, and obviously you can stick with Secret Box, right? But I think finding the right blend between those stadium cards is the big thing that Gardevoir needs to figure out, because it can do, like you said, Ben, scrap Arven altogether, just go traditional draw supporters plus Garden, and that should give you enough dig towards candy combos now. So yeah, I mean Gardevoir is still obviously really, really strong. I think it is going to be hopefully respected though, because it gains so much stuff. I think people will look to Guardi as a top deck, even though it's never really been the most represented deck in the room. I feel like we all have to recognize that Gardevoir was the best looking back and got stronger. So I think that does set the stage for our first few majors.
I think a lot of people find Gardevoir boring, especially considering how long it's been on the top tables now. I think people are quite tired of it, and that's where decks are dangerous, where they're not respected in that space. I
think Guardi has to be respected.
Oh no, Gardevoir has to be respected if you want to do well. But I was saying there are certain players out there that will not look to Gardevoir as even an option to play in a massive tournament because they find it boring or repetitive or not new enough. It's not a new toy, is it, Gardevoir? But it is. It is. I tell you, it is.
If those things come into your thinking for deck choice, you're not trying to win the tournament.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Listen, I've entered tournaments not trying to win them with my deck choice. But I'm just saying, if that comes into your thinking, then you're not trying to win.
Moving on from Gardevoir then, because I think we spent about 20 minutes on that. Well, it felt like anyway.
You're bored of even talking about Gardevoir.
I don't know what are the lists that are coming out of Japan that pick your fancy, but we can speak about Goldengo Rock, which is certainly a deck that's.
I think
that's on
Lunar Rock is probably the highest
topic.
Impact. Yeah. Lunar Rock is the highest impact, like splashable engine, I suppose, that you're going to start seeing from Mega Evo. Fighting is a huge, there's so much support for fighting types, but I feel like Lunar Rock is transportable into other decks. And just say that 70 on Solrock is good, draw power from Lunatone is good. Let's just put those into decks that already like to have a surplus of energy. So Gongo and Ceruledge seem to be the biggest beneficiaries of this. And again, we mentioned the Secret Box build from Drew in Frankfurt. Solrock Lunatone covers that much better with having Solrock as an attacker rather than this brute forced in Fan Rotom for no reason just to hit 70 damage. Or not for no reason, but only because it hits 70 damage. Whereas now it's like you have so many better options with this approach. A lot of the top builds have taken this Japanese list where Trolley is the ace spec. That's my main pinch point that I don't agree with.
Yeah,
I still prefer ESP as a choice, and then I just have a surplus of fighting energy, 5 or so, in my list. So my build is playing a lot of physical basic energy cards, but I still think that Artisan, Poffin, Nestball is good enough, and then you can keep ESP and Cypher, because I think it's still really important to have a turn 2 Cypher for countercatch ESP play or an Arven for ESP play, so that you can just burst through some stage 2s. So I feel like that's lacking in the Lunar Rock build, but undoubtedly you draw a bunch of cards with this combo, and this is a really good one prize pairing for the deck.
Yeah, I think my problem with having Trolley or any other ace spec other than Search Pro is only because you don't have that explosive power. You don't have the opportunity for that one hit knockout when you need it. I can see myself playing this deck. I'll coin bonus 3 times. I'll Lunar Cycle, and I'll miss out by 1 energy because I drew my Nest Ball, or I drew my Buddy Poffin, and that will just really annoy me. And Goldingo was notorious for being this really punchy deck that could be explosive and hit those big knockouts turn 2, right? Whereas now it feels like I'm drawing a bunch of cards trying to find that explosive turn when I could have just Arvened for it before.
I think exactly the same.
So I'm unsure. However, what I will say is, before Worlds, I said to you, will we ever see Trolley in Goldingo? And you both shunned me. Well, who's laughing now?
It's a completely different engine now.
Yeah, hang on.
I didn't know Lunatone existed, obviously. But I win. Next.
The only other thing I wanted to say, so like, I also think Trolley makes you weaker when you're forced to go first, and I also think because you already have Call for Family on Gimme Ghoul, that 1 Poffin from an Arven plus Air Balloon very frequently still gets you double Gimme and Genesect, and that's still most likely what you need turn 1. So I definitely think ESP. Well, I basically just think Trolley's pretty poor. I think you can play ESP or you can play Prime instead.
Like, I don't like the idea of having 4 fighting Gong in my deck over 1 Energy Surge Pro. I could use those 3 spaces in order to play more Buddy Poffin or whatever to get into my Goldingo next turn. Yeah, of course.
You end a lot of space gets blended because your energy split goes a bit haywire then. Basically for me, I think these builds lean really heavily into saying I'm going to announce Lunar Cycle every single turn, and because I've done that every turn, that fuels my superiors. But I feel like if you have it just as mostly saying that Soul Rock's the better part of the package, for Goldingo at least, and every now and then it's going to be a bit of Iona proofing late on, I think that's the better situation. And also you have random high rolls of like, oh, now I can Cypher turn 1. Awesome. So that's my preferred use of the rocks in Dengo. I definitely think they fit in Dengo. I just don't like the A-spec approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 4 spaces on the Soul Rock Lunatone and the 4 fighting Gong. Yeah, I don't like it.
Sounds like you don't like any of it, then.
I hate it.
Tragically, the Vit Band is the Vit Band's one of the best parts about the deck. And that's because you're whiffing knockouts so much that you need the +10 damage. It's so tragic.
It's I don't know. The only reason, and I really hope I make sense when I'm saying this, and that's never a good sign.
You won't, but carry on.
But the only reason I would ever play this build is because I want to hide behind the fact I'm I have a 1 prize board for like 2 turns.
But you do that anyway.
But you do that anyway. Exactly. No, but you do that anyway. But this time you're drawing cards. So
yeah, you can do that in the non-trolley build as well.
Yeah, somehow I win. Let's go back to some of the other lists then. I think we've gone through Goldingo.
There's a Ceruledge at the bottom of 32
actually,
that also takes advantage of the rocks, and I think it's even better in Ceruledge.
Mm-hmm. Dave, did you get a chance to give your voice, your opinion on Goldingo? Go on.
I mean, is there much more to add? In honesty, it's Goldingo.
You could say you love it.
Great different variants. Do I love it? No. I still prefer, and I said this to Joe earlier as well, Dengo hands, just because, although it has a probably more linear path in terms of how it's generally played, but it's just you have a lot more about your deck, and you don't. I don't like Precious Trolley. I think I also agreed with Joe on that as well. It's just because you feels like it has a lower power level, and when it's an ace spec, considering how important that card is because of how broken they tend to be, using Precious Trolley feels like just an underwhelming card the majority of the time. That's my very light opinion on that. I think it's a good deck, but yeah, maybe it needs to be figured out a bit more.
I also like Dengo hands as like the only deck that can use Iron Hands, which is a crazy card, especially with potentially 3 of the best decks in the room being stage 2s right now.
I actually forgot to mention our good friend Pedro actually making the way over there to Yokohama, who also made quite a good record with Goldingo as well. but his build is completely different to the Solrock. I knew it would be, but you wouldn't expect it to be.
Stevenson build, wasn't it?
The five lightning, 6 metal, with the Levincia and the Reverum fan rotom.
I think he just stuck with what he knows, basically.
Yeah, we can.
Letter of encouragement, though. Come on.
Yeah, the one off. Yeah, I like it. But you touched upon Ceruledge, Joe. I know.
Yeah, just because it's really been picking up in popularity.
Yeah,
it's the third most played deck online at the moment, which is kind of crazy. It really benefits from this package again, just like we were saying with Golden Go. Give yourself a 1 prize swinger early on, especially when Ceruledge is like. Ceruledge feels terrible to just throw into the active spot and swing with, because very often you're only doing like 100 damage early on until you've started to actually yeet a bunch, and the Lunatone lets you eat extra energy, but then lets you draw into more vessels and more Ultra Balls and more Carmines and carry on that chain to actually deal huge chunks. The list in Japan played the Blender, but I think more often we're seeing Legacy Energy in the builds online, and I think between Briar and Legacy Energy, you can cheat prizes in different situations to make yourself a pretty viable aggro deck. And I actually think this is the best aggro deck in the game at the moment, even though its engine is pretty cringe. And it's not like it plays itself, right? And sometimes you're going to have the dud hands where you're like, why am I playing this theme deck with 20 energy? But I feel like it just about does the thing 2 out of 3 games enough times to be really good.
This is the most pick up and play deck in format that I've seen for a very long time.
You've spoken about playing Ceruledge for some time ago, Ben.
I did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it was just pick up and play
to the regional.
No, it was the. It was all back when it was first released. When it was first played with Palkia V-Star. When we found out, and ironically, the best. It was more of a Greninja Midnight Shuriken deck than it was actual Abyssal Flames. Because you found yourself just gunning for the Midnight Shuriken more than anything else in the deck. But obviously times have changed. I really do like this deck, actually. I think that this is the most appropriate deck for the Lunatone engine that I've seen thus far. At least on Limitless, making a top standing. I know that people often are putting it in fighting decks naturally, but at the moment this just has a real natural spot in Ceruledge. It has the discard synergy. It needs a draw supporter. It needs something. Ceruledge has always needed something, so it just makes sense to put the two together. And yeah, 2 fighting Gong. I'll say it again.
Don't slag off the Gong. It's brilliant.
Oh no, I'm not. Great card. It's a good card. I'm not saying it's not a good card. The image, the artwork is pretty good on Gong, isn't it? I do like it.
The full art Gong is brilliant too.
Yeah, it's like a boxing bell. Any further words on Ceruledge? Dow, is this a deck you'd go on?
Oh, go on, Alex.
No, I was just saying if this is a deck you'd take. No.
I feel like. For the very TLDR of Mega Evo, the blanket statement is that Lillie's busted, but then the undercurrent is Luna Rock in stuff equals good. You got yourself a deck. I feel like that's the takeaways of Mega Evo in the early stages.
What's the craziest thing you've chucked Luna Rock in, Joe?
Typhlosion I tried.
Oh, okay. Didn't work,
I tried 4 Gong, 4 Fighting, 4 Stretcher, and 2/2 Rock for a 16 card package.
And it's still
16 card package.
No, it didn't work. Thanks for asking.
I think this is a good point.
I also tried it with Conk as well.
Yeah, like we went through with that Goldengo deck, I think if you're sacrificing too many spaces just to fit in the Solrock Lunatone, you're probably doing it wrong.
Well, the funny thing is about Typhlosion is it's also a 16-card package that you have to play. So I've merged 2 packages and hoped for the best, and it was rubbish.
If you could play 80 cards, Typhlosion would be great.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not.
Would it?
No, probably not.
No, probably worse.
The list that actually took the tournament was Terrabox. And looking through this list before, there wasn't anything new apart from 1 Lillie's Determination. But I am taking a speculative guess that this deck, just like we saw in Frankfurt, is capitalizing on a low level of Shaman being added to lists.
Remind me, Joe, that this Japanese tournament in Yokohama, a lot of it was best of one, if not all of it?
Yeah.
Because I think, don't they usually have like it's best of one until they get to the top cut stages and then they actually do a best of three? But this one was just best of one, right?
Yeah, I don't know enough about their structure to be that confident on talking about it, but I'm pretty sure that was the case for this one.
Yeah, I remember hearing and reading some things, and I thought that was the case, but I wanted to see them double check. But yeah, Ben, you're right. It capitalized on little to no Shaman. Everyone's maybe using that Soul Rock kind of package, or using things like Psyduck because that was in, of course, to try and combat things like the Dust Mars and so on. And it just left a nice path for a deck which can capitalize on things like this, right? You get, with a lot of decks still, especially when they're stage 2s, wanting to go second to use those, I don't know, technical machine evolutions or use Badu or things like that. You're given freedom to go first. You're given freedom to get Fan Rotom down. You're able to Fan Call turn 1. And then really from then onwards, you don't need much to be able to use Wellspring to take a Torrential Pump double knockout, for example, or deal meaningful big damage with maybe a Terrapagos or anything like that, right? And that's where it's just found itself in the meta again. It'll come swings and roundabouts. It's one of those decks which we'll start hearing about all of these Shamans coming back because of things like, I don't know, Grimmsnarl, and people are sniping benches with that as well. So then there naturally is an increase in Shaman. How much people respect those kind of sniping onto the bench, that's the kind of question a lot of our players are going to be asking themselves going forward. But so otherwise, it's a great deck, right? It loses sometimes to itself if you get Ionoed or so on and so forth. Pre this tournament, Lillie's gives it another extra card that kind of maybe gets itself out of that situation.
Research was like the worst supporter that you had to play in the deck by far.
all the like kind of one-offs, Pokemon energies, and kind of you're having to like really be good on your resource management to cherry pick those moments. Because when you play this deck, you're having to think about the third knockout at your knockout 1. You need to know your energies that you're going to be using to take your third knockout for the 6 prizes before you've even taken the first one. And that's often the make or break of the deck and the player that chooses to pilot it. That's my only opinion so far from what I understand.
Yeah.
And that's why I laddered with it to Arceus, because my brain is huge.
Oh, did you actually? Nice.
I mean, it's only getting to Arceus. It's like 10 games.
Is it? Wait, what?
Well, they've changed it now, isn't it? If you were an Arc, you only go
No,
down.
it was a joke saying that I it's not 10 games for me. What?
Can we be brought into the joke next time, Ben?
And speaking about Grimmsnarl, actually 3 made top 8, which they probably had the same ideas as that as the Terra Box, which is capitalizing on the Shaman, like you said, with a format without Shaman, like you said. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the amount of tech cards in the format now and so many different ways of playing the game, I think this is just a natural formality of this format, right? You will have decks that will that'll naturally easily capitalize on decks without certain tech cards. If it doesn't have a Psyduck, if it doesn't have a Shaman, if it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. I'd even consider Latias now a certain tech card. We've seen it being dribs and drabs in Dragapult lists just because potential happenings. But it's also the Sobs. You have to look after the Sobs and little Maractuses and all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
the newest thing, Rav, you'd love this. The newest thing is Mist Energy, Fighting Energy, Pseudo Wudo on Monkey Dory.
I have seen some Sudowoodo lists, so I'm looking forward to.
That's your new favourite.
Yeah.
Slap a vest on
Defiance vest or yeah.
Shuckle,
come on.
Shuckle healing shenanigans.
Is Shuckle back?
Shuckle's back, baby.
Shuckle's back. Oh, Shackle GX. I love you.
You can squeeze some
I
juice
love
every
you.
time.
Squeeze some juice.
I love you, Shackle GX Max Potion. Yeah, okay. Moving on then.
But yeah, hold on, just
go on.
The main reason why I think Grimstall's back in a big way is that it's engineless and 8 cards is silly to draw from one supporter card.
Mm-hmm.
It means that decks can survive on just supporters now if you're drawing 8 from your first supporter every turn. I think it really is a rags or riches based on T1 if you have a freaking Lillie in your hand. If you do, you're just like laughing through the game. If you don't, it feels just like old times. But yeah,
Well,
I think
mean,
Grimstall really benefits from Lillie.
Yeah, because otherwise, like this card, it's research in place of that, right? And it's quite detrimental
Correct.
again to be throwing away pieces that you probably do need more often than not in the deck itself.
Yeah.
And when you're kind of building that single board state to begin with, your first couple of turns, you just want your Monkey Dories down. Depending on your matchup, it's Impidimps or Snow Runs, and then eventually into your Frost Asses and Morgrims. At that point, when you're ready to take your first prize, or maybe 2, you've probably used 2 Lilies, and then your third, if you play a 4th, a third or 4th Lilies that you got then onwards. I mean, it's just a shuffle draw 6, which is again a good card to have, rather than playing Iono yourself down to 4 and so on.
Yep.
So
it's just busted. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Pretty
naturally, I feel like it just naturally fits the bill for these long setup stage 2 decks, and there are so many of them in the format.
Sounds
we have
like
the
a great
Gardevoir,
time
we
for
have-
our time and
we have
format that we
Dragapult.
currently have, don't we, Joe?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Can't believe you've done this.
And
That's
then
why I'm
there's
just playing
one more.
Ceruledge.
Just like
Yeah.
Gardevoir,
Yes.
Gardevoir, Grimmsnarl.
Don't ask me
Dragapult.
what I
bundling in.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the stats of the meta thus far then on Trainer Hill. So I've got the stats up in front of me now just so I can center them on screen. 2 moments. Okay, cool. We can go through meta breakdown first then. So we have, and I'll just rattle them off. Goldingo at 8%. We have other related percent, but I'll skip that, obviously. Ceruledge with 7.5, sharing that with Dragapult Dusknoir. Then we have Grimmsnarl Frostlass at 6.9. Gardevoir Jellicent at 6.2, sharing that also with the straight Gardevoir. Then we have Charizard Pidgeot at 4.6, Ens Zoroark at 3.4, Raging Bolt Ogerpon 3.3, Terrabox 3.1, Pidgeot Control 2.6, Alakazam Dunsparce. I had a first, no, there's only one N. Dunsparce at 2.6, Mega Venusaur 2.3, and then Goldingo Joltik Box as 2%. So a lot of new toys to play with in the format. Not really decks in themselves, are they? You know, a lot of the Mega Pokemon are going to be splished and splashed in many deck lists.
Well, I mean, there's
not,
only one
not,
Mega
not
in
so
this
much
top
standalone, as we have with Mega Venusaur. From the format that we do have Alakazam, I suppose. But yeah, so that's the breakdown. With Goldingo at 8% though, keeping its top spot, I think, in the played share, right? Compared to the last time that we looked at it before, or just after Worlds. Is it just the case that it's fun to play, or is it because it does have those new additions?
Yeah, I mean rocks are new as well, so I think there's a bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
So just quickly to note on that 8% of the other decks, from what I can tell, some of the buckets that are in that is that some of them are like Wallstall decks, some of them are Kangaskhan decks, including the Quad Kang with Forretress.
Yeah.
Some of them are the Ogerpon Meganium stuff, and some are Megalatias. I've pieced out the point earnings of those decks, and they're not that high, so I think it is just chunked out into all sorts of random nonsense as well. But that's just giving you a picture. So I think Kangaskhan probably would make it around that 2% in play rate if it was pulled out on its own thing correctly. I think that's the only other Mega that has a lot of potential from my experience. I feel like Lucario needs to wait until Guardian EX rotates.
Yes, it needs to wait until it goes away for a long time. I think from those Mega Kangaskhan and the Latias lists that I've seen, they are so wild. I don't think they have any sort of identity whatsoever at the moment. There's so many different ways of playing those lists, from what I've seen, at least anyway, coming out of Japan, that it is no wonder they're in other, because I can imagine the categorization logic is probably going nuts with how
it should be easy to put, is there 4 Kangaskhan? Yeah, you're a Kangaskhan deck.
Yeah, but some of them won't play 4, will they? Some of them will play
true.
2 or something. Being a 3 prizer. I mean, it goes back to the tag team era, right? Where you could play Buzzwell Pheromosa and only have 2 copies.
True.
So, it's just a case of waiting until the format matures a little bit more. Yeah, okay, but Sarah, just going on the point of Sarah though, Sarah at 3rd place with 7.5, the same play rate as Dragapult Dust Noir, which is saying something. Dragapult Dust Noir, of course, last in our last format was, I would say, only second to Gardevoir in terms of its strength. So seeing Cerulege being played as at the same rate is pretty telling, right?
Bit of new toy syndrome, bit of you can see that Raging Bolt has sunk all the way down to 10th, whereas that's normally in that sort of top 5 of play rates.
Yeah.
So it really is sort of taking the mantle of being an aggro choice, and when Gongo's one of the other top picks in the room, that's another green light for Cerulege to be played, and it's a new deck to try a new engine, so I think it has the checkbox of being something new to try. Yeah, so I think there's a bit of a combination of factors, but I do think it's a real aggro choice in the game.
Yeah, and I keep saying the phrase plug and play because it definitely is. It's I didn't say plug and play. That's a game. I don't think
plug and play works.
No, it's pick up and play. It is definitely the pick up and play list of the format. So, if you ever just want to grind ladder or just play a few games, I think Cerulege is a perfect pick, right?
I agree with that.
And then, of course, we have the big stage 2s then going from 4th to, I would say, 8th. We have Dragapult Dustmine top place with 7.5, then Grimmsnarl, Frostlass at 6.9, then Gardevoir, Jellicent and Gardevoir both both at 6.2%, and then Charizard Pidgeot 4.6. Now, Alex, you of course took Charizard Pidgeot to Frankfurt. I would say, according to this chart, it's gone up in its play share. And of course, being that you took it to Frankfurt, I'm going to throw it over to you as to why Charizard Pidgeot is seeing such an upsurge in playability.
Well, there's a few things, right? I mean, generally its matchup data actually hasn't really been that bad at the time when you were thinking about the Worlds format and then Frankfurt and so on. It had a decent spread. Obviously, it kind of gains a little bit as well. There's any of the stage 2 decks with Lillie's determination. It also gains Psyduck, and I think it's one of those decks that gains the most from using Psyduck, because obviously one of the worst matchup it's had is Dragapult Duskmart. So people are naturally going to try it a little bit more in these sort of online tournaments, because that's what Trainer Hill data is really utilizing, right? It's checking whether Charizard Pidgeot actually has an okay time into Dragapult Duskmart. Now it's been showing at 43%, I think, roughly. Obviously still negative, but in comparison to probably what it was, which is probably in the 30% at the time, or maybe even lower, you take that, and that's kind of, again, giving yourself, you get so much with the deck because you have Pidgeot EX. It's still an incredibly powerful card with its quick search ability. Charizard itself has that ramping power. You can play those lists, which maybe fits in a Monkey Dory as well. Chiyu's great as an attacker into those Dengos and other little nuances like the kind of Teal Mask Ogerpons and a random Iron Leaves or something silly like that. There's answers in the deck. I'm not the most happiest with a maximum belt, which is what I did end up playing in Frankfurt, because I still just think just going something like Secret Box and just that additional percentage of consistency is probably a little bit better. But yeah, it's just got loads of tools. I mean, I think people online are playing both versions of Dusknoir in the Charizard Pidgeots, or even just without the Dusknoir packages as well.
With Monkey.
Yeah, exactly, and including some unique sort of counts, especially with like Tatsugiri kind of coming in and as well. There's a lot to like. I think there's not much to dislike about it. I know Joe's hated on it before, so it's always I'm always keen on trying to work out where Joe places Charizard at any moment in time.
Are you blaming me? Are you blaming me for you picking it in Frankfurt?
No.
I said it was all right.
Was he in your ear?
He's
in your
little
ear.
devil. I mean, there's not much to
I'm
talk
okay
about.
on Zard right now. Zard's solid. It's doing
It's
well.
a
I think it's
solid
like
B.
the fourth. It's like the fourth best performer online right now. Fourth most top 8s at least. That's
Is it
not
really
bad.
that high?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, it's in front of me. I'm seeing it. Yeah. I'm asking you, is this true? It's in my face right now.
Yeah. It's in your face.
Egg on my face.
Egg on your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the deck's doing fine. Psyduck seems good. Lillie's good, so you can just high roll candies when you don't have like the easy Arven for candy Pidgeot. Pidgeot gets candy Zard and you're laughing, it's like, yeah, good.
Yeah. And then Gardevoir, Jellicent and Gardevoir. It's still showing a bit of the Green Goblin effect. It doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know what list to have. It's showing a little bit of inconsistency in deck choice, I think.
I think the big takeaway is that Guardy Jelly is so favoured in Mirror that you kind of have to play Jelly from where I'm sitting. I feel like if it's like playing Dragon Dusk if you just play straight Guardy. You're bad into Guardy, and that doesn't compute. So I feel like you have to play Jelly build right now.
Yeah, I don't want to.
It also gives you
Jelly's
some
good.
fight into Grim, but
I wouldn't even say that.
Jellicent.
It's all frillish for me. Like frillish is so good in terms of just being it's a Badoo with basically with a charm and a vitality band on it, which is incredible.
Good.
Rather than just
Jellicent
being locked out by an iron bundle in someone's list. They're item locked regardless because you're just announcing an attack. That's probably why I think even the standard Gardevoirs are chucking one in, right?
One frill.
Yeah.
One frill seed.
One little frilly.
Come on.
My precious.
I'm not happy with that.
My precious spaces, though.
Not happy with how you said that. How happy you were about that.
My precious deck space. That's like 3 cards I could do anything with.
4. I think a lot of people
now that you
go
mentioned
2-2.
that, I'm up for that. To be honest, yeah.
What? Just having one frillish?
A lot of 2-1s, a lot of 2-2s as well, so you can play around bundle.
Yeah.
And retreat
maybe.
between the two for monkey fuel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then we can go into the top 8 count though. So we've gone through the meta breakdown. I think just going through, all of the lists that are minus 4%. So we've got N Zoroark, we've got Terrabox, we've got Pidgeot Control. These are a lot of decks that will capitalize on meta choices. So deck list choices. Sorry, I should say. I would say N Zoroark probably not so much, only because it likes to get into the nitty gritty against those, big stage 2s, those slow starts. I mean, actually no. Let's stick on N Zoroark because it did have a good showing in Frankfurt, right? No, not Frankfurt, Pittsburgh.
I mean, it won Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Does it still have legs? I mean, whenever I watch it, I'm just so underwhelmed. Apart from Pittsburgh, but whenever I do,
whenever you watched it outside of Pittsburgh, I'm intrigued. First question.
Well, whenever I've played it, I feel underwhelmed, but it's probably because I'm playing it wrong. But
we figured it out.
Whenever I see lists online, I am underwhelmed.
I kind of agree that I didn't love playing Liam's list for the first 5 games I gave it. It's mostly because I just vehemently hate Cyrano as a supporter choice as your main consistency card. But playing for Lillie feels really good in the deck. No duh. But it actually gives you 4 really good playable opening game supporters. I think you don't have to play Toadscruel now either. I think Toadscruel's still a really good catch-all, but I think you can try and cover matchups with Psyduck to help diffuse ghosts and to have Ogerpon to help against Dengo, I think then your only blind spot is Ceruledge, like wipes the floor with you. And I think Charizard's still bad for you. But I think beyond that, Zoro still feels pretty good to me.
I mean, you mentioned Ceruledge as like kind of the crux for there at that point. How many people are now considering, if they're even thinking of Zoroark or a deck choice, be like, God, I got to play into that Ceruledge matchup right now.
I don't even know what that tech becomes. I think, I mean, like maybe you can cut the watchtowers, and like there was a build that did well online that was Crustle and Zoroark, and I feel like that is pretty good. So I think that there's some ways to try and cover for that. Like the space Liam committed to beating Raging Bolt, I think you don't have to commit to, although he was also trying to cover for Terra Box at like the opportune moment. So I think there's a world where you cut those watchtowers from the list and accept the slightly weaker time into Terra and saying you can still beat it. But I really like Zoro. I mean, Trader's busted, the typing's busted. You could, like, stopping Dragadusk from blasting you is just crazy good for your approach in the matchup, so...
Yeah, side deck is definitely a strong card to considering any sort of competition you're going into, right, at the moment. I think with Shaman...
I wouldn't say that, but I think Zoro and Zard are some of the best users of the card.
I think the only other,
I feel like I would play it in basically nothing else. I think I would play it in
really?
I think there's an argument to play it in. It?
Yeah, I mean, who cares about that?
All those.
I think you can consider it in Grimmsnarl, but I think Shaman is slightly better in Grim. The only reason you want it in Grim is again to stop the Dusklops plus Phantom Dive on your monkeys. But yeah.
Okay then, let's move on to the top eight. Top eight's now the top eight rate. Yeah, best performing. Yeah, Grimmsnarl Frostlass at 12.8%, Ceruledge at 8.9%, Goldengo at 7.9%.
There's also a lovely tweet if you want a nice representation.
Oh, go on. Hang on, 2 hours.
Oh,
come on. Send it to me?
Just scroll through Twitter and just go for your notifications while you're there.
You know how you put the bell on?
Probably not.
Just go through your DMs while you're there.
No.
No, I don't think I will. I'll keep going through Trainer Hill while you're at it. So this is top 8 percentage.
Go on.
I think you got to Golden Go at 3, Charizard Pidgeot at 4, Dragon Dusk at 5. Both Guardies in 6th and 7th spot. Zoro at 8th. Pidgeot Control at 10th, because in 9 it's the substitute.
Yeah. So I've got your very helpful image going through the play.limitless online events.
It's actually the old watermark, so I just get a new one off Jack.
Oh, because you got the mega thing, right?
Yeah.
Got the mega.
Should be mega pokes.
So at S tier we have Grimmsnarl, or at the top of S tier I should say Grimmsnarl. Then we have Gardevoir and Dragapult. And when I say Gardevoir and Dragapult, I mean all of its variations. But of course you do have the split, which I won't go through. You can have a look at it. And then we have Golden Go in
really helpful for a podcast.
Yeah. You've got eyes.
Okay, fine. Right. In Gardevoir, the straight Gardevoir is on top of the Jellicent. Then in the Dragapult we have Dusknoir, then we have Zard, then we have straight Drago. But I would say that the Dragadusk is immensely more popular than the Zard and Dragapult.
More points
and more points and more popular, yeah. And then in the A tier we have Charizard, Ceruledge, Lunatone, and then Pidgeot Control, right? Yeah. Am I seeing that right? And then
a lot of good placements, Pidgeot.
Then in B tier, Zoroark, Crustle, Alakazam, Terrabox, Cynthia's Garchomp, Golden Go Iron Hands, then Raging Bolt, and then in C tier, Mega Venusaur, Frostlass Monkey Badoo, I would guess, and Maractus. Then we have Iron Hands, Joltik, I would have thought. Then Lucario, Ceruledge. No, that's not Ceruledge, is it? That's Armarouge, Ho-Oh. Armarouge, Ho-Oh. Slowking, Flareon, and then we have the Conkeldurr taking last place on our C tier. I would say Flareon's taken an absolute beating, hasn't it?
I don't know why. I think people just don't want to play it because it gains nothing.
People just don't want to play it. I mean, look at this image. There are so many different ways to play the game right now. It's. I would take, when you get to that B tier stage, I would take things with a pinch of salt. I really would.
I would write off anything in C immediately,
apart from Flareon
that's underplayed.
What about Cerulege?
I put Flareon and Terranox basically in the same bucket.
What about Conkeldurr?
As each other.
I think Conkeldurr has a good shout. I mean, it made a really good showing in Frankfurt, right? I mean, it has something there. It must do.
Joe considered it for a tournament once.
Yeah, and it's better now than it was then.
and I mean Joltic Box. I know.
It gets the Premium Power Pros now as well. Oh no, seriously, punching.
Yeah, I mean,
just for reference, the highest placing Conk only faced one Guardian, but did beat it in Frankfurt. Come on.
Yeah.
It lost to a Dragon Dusk. Yeah.
I mean,
Psyduck. Oh my god, it's broken.
I would take things with a pinch of salt. That's all I'm saying.
So what you're saying is Conk is brilliant. That's what you're actually saying.
I'm actually saying that Conkeldurr is at least a little bit of a consideration. I'm saying that if you were to come up at it against it in a regional, you wouldn't exactly rub your hands and say, "Oh, easy matchup." Every single time. It depends where you're playing, of course. But what I'm saying is that it's it's a formidable foe. Let's put it that way.
You know what? I'll allow Conk to come up as well.
Into B.
Into B.
No, because it hasn't earned.
No, yeah, I know. I was going to say the
data
data doesn't say it's B.
I'm not going to write it off.
The data doesn't say B, but
according to Trainer Hill, even negative into Cerulege, you're negative into Dragadusk.
It's negative into Cerulege.
Guardy, Grimmsnarl,
is it
Zorro,
how many
Venusaur, Raging Bolt.
How many to your scenario is Cerulege
not
playing
looking
now?
Pretty, boys. It's 100% into Alakazam though. So.
Oh no, would that even matter? No, it wouldn't.
Why are you thinking it won't beat Cerulege? Cerulege has Legacy and Briar. It cheats. It cheats Briar in two different ways.
I'm thinking of the other way around, like the 2-row, but it wouldn't even matter, would it? Because they hit 280 with the poison package, right?
Conk can hit a Squillion, yeah.
Yeah. Good to see Pidgeot control, though, I would say.
Good to see. A lovely treat. Its data is looking crazy, but that's always because good people play the deck. It's
a checker of the format, isn't it? I mean, we've already gone through the kind of idea that, in a meta where you have so many different decks to worry about and to consider when making your deck list choices, control's always going to be there, and it's always going to pop up in those spaces. As is Crustle.
It's got a problem currently one of the most played decks or most well-performing decks though in Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah, but the rest of them, you don't have to. If you beat 99% of the room, you don't worry about the one.
Favoured into 90% of the room, sure, but
yeah, well. I mean,
you'd also have to be the kind of player to play Pidgeot control. You're not really getting online testing, so you're gonna have to do this offline because when
that's the way.
Majority of people who play against Pidgeot control will just fold, basically.
I mean, that's the way. That's the way control and like decks like Crustle, those checkmate sort of decks have always been, right? They've always had one or two really bad matchups in the room.
Yeah, Crustle's a great ladder climber. People
Crustle's data looks amazing, but it is most probably because people just insta-scoop. So I would take that data with a pinch of salt. I don't think you'll see the
insta-scoop too often in like online tournaments.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe not.
So for ladder, yes. Same with Pidgeot control.
Yeah.
But in an online tournament, which obviously what Trainer Hill takes, and it's Play.Limitless online events that graphic that Joe's chucked together. Yeah, I quite like Crustle, but again, that Crustle including like that mixture of the Crustle Pseudo-Wooder package that we kind of spoke about a little bit earlier with the
that's all in the Crustle result. The highest placing, the best earning Zoro Crustle was under the Zorro. That's how I chose to put it. but that's just purely my choice. Because
I think it
only happened once, and I feel like it was more of a Zoro deck than a Crustle deck, but that's my semantics.
I thought I had a couple of.
It played 2 Crustle, but it played more Zoro.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant performance, like as in done well in a online tournament. I thought it had a couple.
It may have been a couple, but
fair enough.
Either way, just a note on Pidgeot. I think again the big thing is Psyduck means that you're not getting completely railed by the Dragger builds that you used to. Especially because you can try and protect the duck quite nicely with your pennies and whatnot. So if they're committing resources to trying to deal with it, you can keep picking it up and doing the stuff. And its energy denial approach is still really strong into a number of decks. You've got the Pseudo Wudo package supporting here as well. So
how do you guys
trapping?
How do you feel about a random Klefki in your Dragapult?
I feel that's fine. You have again the timings are weird though, right?
You can't explode on the duck. You can't Latias back out.
Yeah, like it would maybe be like a mini Arven package with Balloon or something along those lines.
Churro has to come in probably.
Turo into the deck. Yeah, I mean it's going to be awkward, but it allows you to blast the duck. Right, is the idea?
Yeah. Or
your duck is blasted.
Get
blast like anything else.
Meaningful blasts out, right?
Meaningful blast. Oh yeah, and allow the duck to sit there because you've done your blast anyway. Yeah, that's fine.
And then you can get rid of it.
I think Klefki's better in other stuff, just because it. Like I hate playing Arven in Polt.
Yeah, fair.
I think like Brock is so good with Lati and stuff. I haven't really thought about it enough. The thing that's putting me off is the tool stuff. Maybe if you go away from Neo Upper and play like Crystal and Air Balloon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's such an
that.
interesting thing, because I guess when I mentioned Klefki earlier, I was just like, I was trying to remember what else. I was like, yeah, Psyduck's a thing. And that's
Yeah.
a bit
There's been discussion about that this week, I think, on Twitter about it.
There?
I like Klefki more in Guardy, to be fair, just because you can go... If you cut Arven, you're going less Evo based anyway, so you go higher focus on candies, and then you can retreat into key more.
Yeah. I also really like Klefki and Guardy. I think it's a cool little option, especially if you're not playing TM Evo, when it naturally goes in, right? But it is one more space. Can we get more space, please, in Gardevoir, so we can play everything?
Well, it's a psychic type for your garden. Come on.
Yes. Yeah, annoying.
Annoying.
Hello.
Ooh, I ate it.
I don't know if we want to go through predictions. We have gone over an hour and a quarter now, but we can go through some
very quick thoughts, right? Because it is
small thoughts and predictions.
Milwaukee's coming up this weekend.
It is. We've got a lot of tournaments coming up actually, haven't we?
Loads. We have 7 majors plus an IC, and 7 regional or SPE or special championships, as well as a IC in this format. So loads across the globe. Loads
coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have, as you mentioned it, Alex, we have Milwaukee this weekend, but also Belo Horizonte. Sorry if I said that wrong. Then we have Lille at the end of the month, and then going into the start of November, we have Gdansk and Brisbane.
Back to back weekend for us Europeans.
Yeah. Following on to the rest of November, the 15th, we have Las Vegas and Buenos Aires, both on the same weekend, of course. And then we have the big one. We have the first internationals of the season, the 21st of November, we have LAIC. And then ending our November, we have Stuttgart.
That's in Phantasmal Flames.
It is, yeah. Yeah, different format, but
just letting you know.
Just going to mention it. All right.
That's the calendar year.
That is it. The rest of the year.
Yeah.
Big break sort of
from December. Big break.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
17th
of January.
A major Pokemon tournament.
Yeah, we stop at Stuttgart and then come back on the 17th. Oh no, well, yeah. I mean, America comes back on, or NA comes back on the 17th of January in Toronto, and then we have the 24th in Birmingham.
I want to get your predictions for best performing stage 2, stage 1, and basic from each of you.
Stage 1.
There's loads.
There are loads. Go on, Alex. I'll let you go first. Do the honours.
That's because you,
I mean, like
you don't have an
archetype,
answer.
obviously.
As an archetype, yeah. I don't think you could look past Guardy as a stage 2.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, I know that's boring, but if you're pressing me for an option,
it's a great choice.
It's a great choice.
I've not put enough time into looking at Serial Edge like you have, Joe, so I won't pick that.
It's not been that much time, but
I could see you panting away at wanting to say Serial Edges.
I'm dummy handing it right now. There's a go on.
I don't know what. Yeah, it'll be. I think Dengo hands probably for the stage 1.
Nice.
And then for the basic, I think Terrabox has something about it still. If I was
to
pick
fair.
one of each stage basic deck.
Yeah.
Go on,
That's
Ben.
fair. I'll
have to
go.
wait for me to give my views. Go on.
I'm going to shock you and say Gardevoir for stage 2.
Oh, you are boring.
Broken record. Stage 1, I'm going to say Serial Edge. I actually do really like Serial Edge. And then the basic, I'm going to go with Raging Bolt. Still think Raging Bolt has legs. I don't know what it loses really coming into the mega format. It doesn't really lose much, does it?
Edge is a new bad matchup, but
it is. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I still think it has legs. I don't know in the kind of aggro space, right?
It certainly has 4 legs.
I mean, Serial Edge can have the benefit of hiding behind being a 1 prize board for a turn, I guess, and the fact that it can get. I think it can gain 2 prizes more efficiently than Raging Bolt before the stage 2s get up and running. But I think out of all of the other basic options, I still think Raging Bolt is the best.
I mean, you have Baby Bolt to do some shenanigans, right?
You do. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you do.
And then you can maneuver into Coridon or something like that if you need to as well.
Could play little. Could you play Briar? Probably not. Not anymore.
No.
Right, I'll just give mine quickly then before we sign off, shall we?
Go on.
I'll go Grimmsnarl. Come on. Someone's going to high roll Grimmsnarl. I'm then
is that a high roll anymore though? Mike paved the way again recently.
Not with Lillie.
There was a couple of decent results in Pittsburgh. And it's
the reason
literally
I
dominating online now. Like, it's everywhere.
Oh, I'm mostly saying that someone has to consistently draw good opening hands with the deck like 13 times, you know? That's what I mean by high roll.
That's
because Gardevoir and Dragapult are more consistent of stage 2 decks, but this has like such a strong game plan into the stage 2s that I think it's going to go far. Then I'll go... Ooh, thought about saying Crustle then. I'll go Zoroark as the stage 1.
You can say the same
not
deck,
straight Golden.
You don't have to be different. It's not FPL. No, we don't have to find differentials
I'm saying it
every
now.
time.
We're doing a draft.
Can't take it back.
I've not been left with many good basic decks.
What do you mean?
You're joking.
You can have.
You've taken.
What is there? What is left?
Terrabox and Bolt. So I might have to go for. I'll go Kangaskhan. I'll go Mega Kang.
Mega Kangaskhan.
As the best performing base.
Have you played it? Have you played it at all? Mega Kangaskhan.
Yeah, I've played an owl build quite a bit. That was my very early ladder climb choice. I like danced between that and Dengo to begin my climb.
Is that including?
Realised he wasn't climbing.
Realised I was tumbling, and then moved on to other decks. Obviously.
Realised he was climbing downwards. Yeah.
But I mean, Kang is so. Look at him. He's so good. He draws cards instantly. What more do you want?
Mega Kangaskhan was my first ever deck. Mega Kangaskhan.
Also, he's a tag team, right? He's literally just like old tag teams. And if a Green's engine, like something akin to an 8 prize deck, can be crafted out of it, I think it's gonna have a decent time.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I don't know if any of you guys.
I don't think Fortress would be the best way to play it, if that helps.
Oh, okay, fine.
I don't mean the Fortress gimmick. I think
Yeah.
like Turbo Energize and Crispin and other attackers, or other men that go in the deck, whether it's Boofs or Monkeys or something. Make it tough for them to win the game.
No, that's fair enough. I don't know if any of you guys had any more things to say really about the format. Otherwise, we can quickly sign off.
I think that's everything, mate.
Yeah. Anything that's
Looking
going on
forward to
this weekend, Alex?
No, not this weekend. I'm away from the weekend afterwards. Pre Lil, I guess. I have a holiday booked
Nice.
again. Just need to get away.
Another one. Another one.
Now.
He's touring South America this time.
Really? I'm going to Menorca for a week. But the reason why I'm going is because Mason has an extra week at half term, so I don't have to get charged to take him out of school.
Very good.
And I've paid £175 for 4 people.
Right. Have you
What? How do you manage that?
It was flights and the
Send me the
hotel
link.
for 175. Do you want to come? You want to come along?
Send me the link. Yeah, we'll come along with you. That'd be great.
And then and
Cheaper than
30 quid for a
childcare
car hire
costs.
for a week on the little island. So I don't think it's like super hot or anything. It's like maybe like low 20s. It'll be fine. But
I
week
started
more.
laughing
Very
because I'm just thinking about my glamorous locations I go the next 2 weeks.
Where you go?
Being Coventry.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
What's happening in
cannot wait.
Birmingham?
Who's winning there?
Cov is a lovely housewarming party
Oh,
from
yeah.
one of our friends, and Birmingham is a card show that me and Emily are going to go to and do some content for that.
Is that on the Sunday?
No, that's the following week.
Following
The
week,
week
yeah.
before Lille.
I think I'm also coming to the housewarming, and then the weekend after I've got the Cardiff Gaming Show, which is going to be great. But they do, you know what's good about Cardiff is they do the gaming show and the Comic Con on the side.
That is
So
brilliant.
there's so many guests there, so many good guests. So yeah, looking forward to that. Guests
Brilliant.
you've probably never even heard of, but they're so good. Very exciting stuff. Okay, all right. Well, let's sign off there then. Thank you everybody for listening, and please stay patient with us. I know those past 5 weeks have been pretty hard without us, but
It's been
we'll be
barren,
back.
I'm sure
We're-
you've been...
we're back with a more
People
of
have
a
been gagging.
more of a consistent way forward now.
But no
with
promises.
our
5
regular
weeks.
schedule.
Yeah.
So
No promises.
I'll see you in a couple of years. All right. Bye. Ciao.